All right. We see people coming in.
Let's see, take a look.
Hey, I see Denzel's here. Hi, Denzel.
Denzel Doka.
Yeah, good to see you. And
we got Mark all the way from Maine.
Nice. Good to see you here. So we're just doing some final touches here on the app. So Abhijit, are you good with that now?
Yep. So what we're going to show today is these are some of these things are like incremental features. So the gauges, that's not available right now in the stores. But apart from that, everything, the functionality is exactly same. And Eric could explain what exactly is with the whole data logging thing.
Okay, well, we'll hold off yet. We'll give folks a little more time to come on.
Yeah, sure. Eric, I need...
All right. So I think what we have is we're doing good here. I know Abhijit, you're are you there you go, and that's the cloud. All right.
I'm gonna just set up everything.
Okay, and then we'll take it from the top when people get.
Yeah, when everybody joins, then we could start from the beginning.
All right. Well, I'll talk a little bit. Good morning, folks. I'm Bill Northrup from North Park Innovations, home of the iManifold, iConnect training, and the iConnect. We have Eric, who is our head sales and trainer, Yerudia. We have Abhijit Mishra, who Abhijit this month has been with us a year now.
Yep.
And this application that you're seeing is really Abhijit and the team's creation. It's really the foundation of our new mobile application. And we're excited to begin to show everyone its functionality, how it works. And we really would like everybody's input because like anything, it's a developmental project and we really want input from the field to let us know what they do like, what they don't like, and what they would like to see. Without further ado, Eric, I think, Abhijit, are you ready to have Eric run through it, or are you finishing up some things yet?
Yeah, I'm just clearing his cache so that he's starting fresh for everything.
Okay.
He's freshening me up here.
Wow. Hey, yesterday, I was in San Antonio and Houston, and we have a customer there in San Antonio, and they have over 100 technicians, and they're all using our platform, and it was so cool to see how they use it, how every one of their technicians, doesn't matter what they're doing, they hook up, the data flows, and they get data on every one of their jobs. At the same time, they support them via the Tech Connect. And they've had, their experience is their reduction in callbacks is about 90% of human error callbacks. Of course, if a compressor goes or something goes, you know, whether it's a coil or something, you can't do anything about that. But they've had significant success with that. So it's been great to see it. And man, they have a great operation. And of course, this time of year, San Antonio is a beautiful, beautiful place. So it was neat. Went to the Alamo, which of course is cool. Did the river walk. So we enjoyed that very much. So.
Okay, so I think we are good to go, Eric, and you could start with your presentation.
Okay.
Right. So let me close all these stuff which you don't want. And you're good to go. I'm leaving the control.
Okay.
All right, now I'm back in business, huh?
You got it, Eric.
All right.
Cool.
Let's see here. Where are we at? So now I guess we are still sharing my screen, are we not, Bill?
Yes, I see that feather looking good.
Yeah, the wonderful screen here. So my name is Eric Urrutia with North Park Innovations, and we're really excited about this new data logging application feature that is going to allow you to actually record data over time, so you can see these issues where we're having a problem when you're not there. You know, there's always this thing that never shows up while you're out on the job site. So this is going to allow you to tape all your data from the voltage, your amperage, suction line temperatures, liquid line temperatures, you name it, it's going to be on here. So we're going to go ahead and start up. We're going to fire up this application. Here's our data logger. I'm going to, hey, Avi, I can disconnect and reconnect, correct?
Oh, yeah. So just disconnect it and just close the app and start from beginning. That would be best way.
Let me close that up.
Yeah, just close this app.
And we'll start up from the beginning here.
So this will give
It's
people.
in your Windows menu. So if you press Windows, yeah. Here you go.
Our data logger here, we're going to go ahead and fire it up. Now that application is available. I'm running this on Windows right now. It is available in the iOS store and also on the Google Play Store. So when you're set up here, you need to be a cloud subscriber to get the full benefit of this. So your cloud login and your password is the same as what you're going to be logging in here to your data logging website as well.
But Avijit, am I correct? And Eric, am I correct that if they're not a cloud subscriber, they can still connect up to it and understand how it works?
Yep. So
if you check it out and demo it and take a look at it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So there's an option of sign up over here. So anyone with like no cloud account, they could sign up for free and look at some of their data and streaming and see how this application is working. So,
yep. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and log in your username and your password. We're going to log in here. Right now, I have a little system running. It's a small little half-ton sample unit. And my iConnect is hooked up to it. So I've got my high and low pressure probes, my temperatures, my supply and return air probes, temperature and humidity, and I also have a UEI DL429 hooked up to the system, taking my voltage and my amperage. Now this is a little 120 volt single phase. I actually made this demo unit out of a little window shaker. So right now we're going to go ahead and connect up to my iConnect outside. And we'd select our device, iConnect C4131. That is the serial number of the device. And we're connecting up here. Now we're connected to the system. So on your menu here, you're going to see it's relatively the same as what you've got on your iManifold. It's going to ask you your system configuration, your metering devices, your efficiencies and everything else, your head press controls, everything that's in here. This little system I'm using is a little AC unit with a fixed orifice, standard efficiency, standard operation on the evaporator. We've got our target superheat and subcool. Now, just remember that's always an adjustable thing. We're just looking at our targets.
And just to clarify this thing, so what's there in the store, this version, so the top things that you're looking at, the system profiling, it's not going to be there because it's just for the demo purpose, because we wanted to show everyone what we are doing. But if you look at the app in the store, it's going to be relatively simple interface. So it would start with the refrigerant that you are seeing on the left side, and the above things would not be available. But we would have that thing coming out soon in the future.
Yeah, and I think the
stages. It's on there right now, so it is working right now. I'm going to show you.
Yep.
And this is what the future holds for us. Really nice setup. So we're going to look at our refrigerant here. Select our refrigerant. We're going to use 410A. Nominal tonnage on this particular system, this is a little half-ton unit, so we'll go 0.5 tons. Airflow method, airflow and CFMs. This little half-ton unit, so we're going to enter in 200 CFM. Now our barometric pressure, it'll base it off of altitude, or remember we have an onboard sensor on our iManifold and iConnect. So I'm going to go ahead and read that pressure right off of that. Our power factors, I'll just leave that as our default power factor. That's recognized all over, and we hit continue.
Eric, you selected the custom pressure, so you have to change it to iManifold.
All right. Yep. Accidental click.
Yeah.
Now our circuit configuration. So that's our circuit configuration. We can go increase our number of circuits. If we are running a 1, 2, 3, 4 circuit system, we're going to have all this information here, so we can custom map all of our probes as well. So if we did do a multiple circuit situation, we've got everything here to adjust that. We're going to go single circuit, 1 compressor, 1 evaporator, 1 condenser. Submit to go into our next. Now we've got our probes list. This is all of our probes that are active right now. We've got a low pressure, a high pressure, humidity and temperature. These other probes are not active. There's our atmospheric pressure, calculated pressure, onboard temp. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to map out our probes. Our low pressure probe over here, we've got circuit 1, low pressure at our VAP. We can change this up. This is suction line. Our T1 over here is our suction line temperature at the evaporator. We're actually reading suction line temperature at the condenser. So we tap to adjust our mapping. We've got suction line temperature at the compressor. And as you can see right there, we got our little green check mark. Our pressure here is 111.82, 114. That is suction pressure at the condenser as well. So we're going to adjust that. Now on our T2, on our low pressure side, there are the two temperature inputs that are on each probe. T2 on there, I put that as my outdoor air temperature. So as you can see on right here, I'm mapped out to outdoor air dry bulb. There's all kinds of different maps that you can do, but we've got outdoor air dry bulb. So now we move over here to our high pressure probe. There's our pressure here. We got liquid line pressure at the condenser, which is correct. Liquid line temperature at the condenser. We have discharge line temperature. So we don't have to go into any of this. Now our probe 3 and 4, these are our temperature humidity probes. Those are your supply and return probes. So I'm taking a look at my temperatures. 42.62 degrees. That obviously is my supply air dry bulb. There's my supply air. Now, as you can see on here, I need to change this mapping here because this is showing another supply air. Tap this. This is going to be our return air. So now we're mapped up just fine. Probe 3 is supply. Probe 4 is return. All of our info now here, and now we can connect to our UEI multimeter. I'm going to go ahead and tap connect to UEI. Now, when you're using the UEI, just remember have the power on, and also you're going to have a link, and that turns on the Bluetooth. So once that Bluetooth's on, connect up. There we go. And now when we scroll to the bottom here, we've got our electrical. We got our amps and our volts reading right here. Our mapping is good. We're going to review this right quick. So next page, just the green button here, we'll review our mapping. Our vapor compression side, there's our suction pressure, suction line temperature, saturation temperature, superheat, liquid, all the pressures that we're reading, pressures and temperatures all displayed. Now over here, we're going to go to our, this will be our air data for our conditions, outdoor air dry bulb, return air dry bulb, return air relative humidity, supply, and return as well. Now these are the gauges that you won't be seeing. This is, Avi, give a little explanation on these.
So right now, the gauges that you're seeing, these are like in development phase. So we are trying to accommodate different kind of gauges so that if you have like multiple superheats, multiple subcooling, So we are going to show all the gauges and all the data over here. So that's going to change pretty soon. So what you're going to see in the app is that this first part where you are seeing gauges, it won't be available. So you would see just the change mapping and the start data logging on the top. So that's it. But apart from that, everything remains same.
Perfect. So as you can see, we've got circuit 1 here. If we had multiple circuits, that keep going down and identify each circuit. So you would be able to see everything that's going on with each circuit. Now moving over here to Psychometrics, our return air and supply air. We've got our enthalpy, our air volume, our dew point, and our wet bulbs all displayed. You can see them live jumping around a little bit. Now we'll go over here to our last tab here, and this is our electrical. So there's our wattage, our BTUs that we're producing total. There's our EER, and this is our amperage and our voltage. So now that we're happy with all this, everything's mapped out properly, we can start data logging all this information. So when we tap our data logging.
And Eric, could you just open that website also on your screen so that you could put both things parallelly so that everyone could see that what exactly is happening with the data logging?
Absolutely. Well, do you want me to start the data log first?
No, so just click on the window on the top, just hold it and drag it to the right side of your screen, just on the top, on the Chrome browser. Yeah, give me control, I will do it. Just
let me give you control here. You do it up here. Tell me what you want. There he goes, customizing my screen here.
And Eric, is the rumor true that you have a brand new computer?
Yeah, this thing, I'm trying to go through this thing, and it's working well. I like it.
Treating you okay? Good.
Yeah. Yeah, by the one, it took a little dive.
So it's good now, Eric, and I'm giving you the control back. Here you go.
All right, so here we go. On the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see this is where you're going to log into your portal. So anywhere that you're at, if you leave the device over there and you're doing your data logging, you can log into your portal anywhere else to watch what's going on. So on the right-hand side, you can see that there's nothing in progress right now. We can search by session name. These are some ones that are completed. These were just some sample tests that I had run. But right now, we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and start doing a little data logging. So at first, we're going to enter a session name. And we'll just put in test 1, 2, 3.
Yep. And you could also leave it blank. So we will assign a unique ID to that particular session.
Yep. And when it's left blank, I think it goes to just a.
I don't think you have that kind of session.
A date.
Yep, exactly. This one. Yep.
It'll do a date just like this. I'll give you a time on there. So we've got test 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, scroll the right window to the top. Scroll the right window, the screen to the top. Yep. Yep. So that they could see. Yep. That's good.
Close it.
No, don't close it. Just let it be so that we could see the in progress when we start it.
There we go. Yeah. So data logging duration. We're going to go just for 10 minutes on this one. We got 10-minute data log. We've got the data logging interval. In between grabbing data points. So we're just going to go 1 second at a time. We're going to get some really fast data. We can do it every 1 second. We can do it every 10 seconds if we want. We're going to do this every second. You can do it over minutes or hours. Like I said, we can do data logging duration. We can go minutes, hours, days. So right now we're going to start this data logging. And now watch over here on the right-hand side of the screen that we'll see an in progress. So as you can see over here, in progress now, we've got one session going. Session name is test 1, 2, 3. There's our start date. Duration is 10 minutes. Interval is 1 second. As you can see on the screen, on our data log screen that we're hooked up to the system, you'll see the session name here. You'll see how much time is left, the amount completed, And you'll also see this little bar going across here. This is a graph. It'll show you, during the session, how much has been completed. Now you can take a look at data over here. See it live here working. Compression, circuit, the outdoor, the air side here. Psychometrics, you can see those. Now over here on your portal side, you see the session running. You see all the start dates, the duration interval. Now we can take a look at the actual data. So if we type view data.
Yeah, now you can maximize the screen, so that would be better.
Hold on. Let's see here. So now here viewing this data, we have options up here. We can go back. We can change this from Celsius to Fahrenheit. We're going to take a look at Fahrenheit here. It'll give us all the information here, our refrigerant, our estimated airflow, our rated capacity, and our power factor. We got vapor compression data. We got humidity probe data, so our air side. Psychometric calculations are electrical data. Now, just taking a look at vapor compression, I'm going to go ahead and you can increase these. Go ahead and maximize each one of these fields. So maximizing this, all of our graphing over here, if we select any point, we can see all the data that happened right there at that point. Now down here on the bottom, there's a legend here. We can turn these on or off as much as we want to see. Section line temperature, the compressor, section line pressure. If we don't want to see any of these others, we can shut these off. Simply by touching them, kick those things off, and this is all we would see.
So left side is the temperature and right side is the pressure. So right now we are looking at one pressure and one temperature. So red one is the suction pressure. So you could see that on the right side, the data value, and for the temperature, it's on the left side. So now we are only seeing pressure. So you could just refer to the right side of the screen. Yep. So what is the pressure coming in?
There's the pressure differentials. I can shut this off completely and just take a look at section line temperature. All the data logging from that. Now I can turn all these back on as I wish. I can add them, subtract them, whatever I want to put on here, whatever you want to really see. As you can see, all my data is all back. We can take a look at this, look at the legend as far as what you want to see. Section pressure right here. I picked that data point. I've got everything that was happening right there. And this works the same all the way across. We want to take a look at electrical data. We expand this here. Shut off our watts. We can take a look at just BTUs. As a system cycling, like I said, this system that's out there, it does not have any ductwork or anything. So there's going to be, as the air movement moves around, you're going to have variances in this, but you can see how many BTUs you're producing all the time here. As it goes, it's going to keep scrolling across. We can always add information if we want to take a look at watts. There's our wattage over here. There's 500 watts. There's our BTUs still shown. Amperage, when it's going on and off. And our EER.
And you could use the legend on this screen also. So let's say if you want to look at the psychometrics and electrical at the same time, so you could use the legends on this screen also.
You want to take a look in Celsius, simply switch the unit of measures. Look at PA, KPA, or PSI. So this will help anybody out, anybody doing work, and they take a look at it metrically. This is, of course, an international thing, so we have to cater to everybody out there. You guys down in Mexico, Australia, everywhere else, everything's in here. So now with this information, if we took a look back at our data logging, we got 4 minutes and 2 seconds left. Let me just increase this one here. This way you can take a look at this. Vapor compression, everything's all there. Air side. Psychometrics.
And another cool feature is that, let's say in some cases there is no internet available on the phone. So what's going to happen that it's going to store all the data in the device, and as soon as you connect back to the internet, everything goes back to online. So it's like you don't have to worry about your phone's internet connection if you don't have much of data. So you could use that feature also. So if you want to do any live streaming, then you need internet. But if you don't have an internet, it would still store the data.
And so what we're finding is guys are thinking about getting just a low price Android phone to leave. When they're doing their data storage, you can buy them very inexpensively. And so that data just stays on the phone, whether you want to have it hooked up through Wi-Fi or cellular, or not hooked up at all and just get the data after a while. Remember, with the iConnect and the iManifold and the probes, we have micro USBs so that you just get them plugged into any AC electric and you can leave them. Eric, I think we've had one running in Phoenix for...
It's been running for, what, 4 months now?
4 months now, yeah.
Nice.
On the side of the probes, that micro USB, it's just a phone charger. I think it requires 2 amps on there. Just plug those in, and you can leave them running indefinitely. You know, we've had that thing running for 4 months now. Not a hiccup in the power at all.
And one other thing, Eric and Avijit, there's a lot of guys who came specifically to this webinar to understand where we're heading with the refrigeration dimension.
Okay, that's what I was going to go over here in just a second.
Cool. All right. Very good.
So as we're coming to the close of this, you see how much time is left here. Give it just a second. So on the refrigeration side of this, not just for the data logging purpose, but also for even diagnosing a system. The way this application works, we can actually map out multiple superheats. We can map out multiple discharge line temperatures. So you guys that are working on low temp, you're working on a rack system, and you need to take multiple superheats. The 912 probe, that is just simply a temperature and repeater. You plug into a couple of the thermistors on there, and you can go down the line and label off superheat 1, superheat 2, superheat 3, superheat 4, and go down the line and get your multiple superheats so you can adjust these things out. This is going to make it a lot easier to work with, being able to take a look at an entire system. You know, superheat, subcools, multi-circuit, all these are custom mappable. Now I see that there's a, Bill, are you taking a look at the chat?
Yes, I am. What do we got?
And any questions right there regarding that, because we can pull up a mapping, I'm sure.
Yeah, so please let us know your thoughts. If there's anything you want to know in detail, and also you understand this is a work in progress. Avijit has created this application so we can generally, within reason, be fairly responsive to any changes you might want, the way you want to see the data. This is what we're hoping to get good feedback from everybody in the field.
Yep, so that we could do some rapid prototyping and just make the changes according to the market requirements. and make this a better product.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's what made it what it is today.
Yeah.
Information that we get from you guys out there.
Yep.
So now looking back on this, as you can see, the data logging has been completed on this particular session.
So, and of course, I talk about Avijit. Avijit is leading it along with Buck, and then we have others, of course, that are doing the work. We have Prithi, who's heading up that
this cloud interface.
Cloud interface. She's done a beautiful job with it, and we have Arshdeep and others. So it's a great team, and it's coming together nicely. And we're going to be making a lot of changes in a pretty short period of time as we get input from all you folks. So that's what we're excited about that.
Thanks, Bill. So now going back into our portal here, you see that we've got our latest session here, this test 1, 2, 3 that we just did. It's already in here. You can export this, or we can view this data. Everything was done 100%. View this data. And this is our data log that we just had.
And so there's another cool thing that you could do. So Eric, could you maximize any of these? Yeah, so in the bottom, if you scroll down, so there's an option of show all data. So right now it's showing all the data from 719 to 728. So that's for the 10 minutes that we did. Now, if you just make this drop down for a minute, so you could pinpoint to a minute and to a second that where exactly is the issue. So you could see all the data points. So let's say if you logged for 2 or 3 days and you're trying to pinpoint to a particular place that where exactly the issue was, you could easily do that with this thing. So here you go. You could just show for every minute, so 721 to 722. Now if you press next minute, it would go to 722 to 723. Here you go. So you have all the data is always stored on the cloud, and this data is accessible to everyone all the time when they want.
And when he says everyone, that's just everyone in your organization who has cloud.
Exactly, not everyone.
And see, that's something to remember. When you're signed in with your cloud, none of the information on your jobs, your customers, anything gets shared with anybody else. When you're in a group, say you've got 5 technicians, you've got 5 iManifolds, you've got 5 cloud subscriptions, those are all yours. That data is not shared with anybody else. I can't even look at your data. Nobody out here looking at data. If somebody else has your password, change it. You know, if you're going to get rid of somebody, change your passwords and everything else. But your data is your data, so nobody else sees this information. So now, as far as on the refrigeration side here, we're going to take a look and change the mapping here. We're mapping up a system. We need multiple superheats. So on our low pressure here, now Avi, do I need to use some 912s, or I could actually map these things out?
Yeah, you could map anything to anyone.
We're good here. So on my low pressure side, I'm getting my low pressure.
So, but you need to change the system configuration to have multiple compressors or multiple condensers.
Yeah.
So on the top right side, you could go and system configuration and you could change it. Here you go.
Configuration here.
Scroll down.
And we'll go into
continue. And you could change the number of, no, you don't just have to change the number of compressors and condenser, right?
Well, if we only have one compressor and multiple evaporators.
Yep, we could do that.
And so right here on our compressor 1, our T1,
cool.
if I use this, We can go suction line temperature at evaporator also.
Okay.
On our high side here, rather than our discharge line temp and our liquid line temp, we can actually go down the line here and change these as well.
And so but Eric, you don't have a pressure at evaporator, so you have to change that also. Low pressure. Yep.
Now we're going to still leave our suction pressure
Okay.
same.
Now, so for that, you need to have a pressure at compressor, right? You have multiple at same evaporator. So you need to change the evaporator.
Yeah,
Go
we're
to
gonna,
the drop down on the right side, evaporator 1. You change it and map it to different evaporators.
let's see, that one. We're going to have to do this, that 2.
Nope, to the top tube. Yeah. 3 and 4 on the top one, on the probe 1.
Got this.
And you need a pressure at evaporator, Eric, to look at the multiple superheats.
Okay. Is that the way it was set up?
Yep.
Okay.
And you have to change it. Where did that go? Yep. And evaporator 1 is good. That's good.
Okay, we're good there. So right there, we've got multiple superheats right here.
And you could see the values also if you scroll down. There you go.
Now, I was jumping around on those.
Yep. So it's going to be coming in the format in which you selected in the probe. So
Yeah, this is, like we said, we're doing this in developmental stages.
Right.
What we're going to see, this is the first time I've seen this type of screen too. That's why Avi's helping me out. I appreciate that, Avi. Rocking this out.
Yeah, and I see that it is showing our beta on our gauges and our superheats, which is it's good because this is really where it's going to.
Yeah.
And we really would like everybody's input here. Whether this is something you like, what else do you want to see? This is the important part, so we get it right and get it functional for everyone.
Absolutely.
Yep. So you have multiple temperatures, multiple saturation temperatures, and that's why you have multiple superheats, or respectively, you could have subcooling also. So here you go. You have multiple superheats. Here you go. And these all are live. So you see on the right side, everything is changing as the data is changing.
It's on live now. Now these, of course, those temperatures that were mapped previously, those were, of course, temperatures of ambient air temperature and everything else. So, I mean, these superheats are looking way out of whack here, of course. But we can always go back to our original mapping and be the way that we were on here before.
And this thing lets you know that if there is some issue with your mapping, this tool is smart enough to let you know. So let's do one thing, Eric, and yep, that's cool. And go to a liquid line and just select this one as liquid line pressure at condenser, temperature at condenser, and don't map the T2. So now, and if you go back to the review mapping, see what happens. So I believe you don't have that. Okay, go to change mapping and scroll down, map the T2 to the suction line temperature at compressor.
On this one here.
Yep, to the compressor.
That it at the
Compressor, yep. Suction at compressor. Now you have two suction line temperature at same compressor on the T1 in probe 1 and T2 on probe 2. So you have same data. Now if you try to go to review mapping, so scroll up in review mapping, it will show you an error if you scroll down that you have multiple mapping found at following location, which can't happen. So you have suction line temperature at compressor 1 at circuit 1.
And circuit 1.
So you go back, you find the suction line temperature. Okay, so I have two mappings. Change it to the discharge line temperature if you want. And then you review mapping, and then if it's good, then come.
Now we're all good. Back in play, we're all happy here.
Yeah, that's a nice feature. Yeah.
It is a nice feature.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you start getting multiple circuits, man, you gotta know exactly what's what.
Yep, and this thing keeps track of multiple circuits. So if you have multiple circuits and compressor, only one compressor, so it's gonna make sure that everything is in place and give you the right response if there is something wrong with the mapping.
Perfect. So we can go data log in again.
And Eric, just to let you know, we've got a few minutes left in our time slot.
Okay, so let's log it for 1 minute. There you go. Go back to the cloud and everything's going to be there.
Back to my cloud session.
Go back. There's a back button on the left side. On the left side. No. Near Celsius. Okay.
Oops. Yeah, I forgot about that. Here we go. And here's our test 2 in progress. Duration 2 minutes, 1 second intervals. And we view data.
Since we are changing the mapping in between, so that's why it says, okay, so that data is not available right now.
Yep.
Okay, if you minimize the screen and go back to the app, there's some other thing which I would like to show. So if you go to the right side, top screen. Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
No, click on that. Click on that icon on the right side. The drop, which brings the sidebar. Yep.
This one here?
Yep. And you go to unit of measurements. So you could change your units of measurements and see the data how you want it to be. So if you wanted to say in Celsius, you could say, okay, Celsius and then save configuration. So you could see the data in Celsius over here. Yep. Scroll down. And you could see the temperatures and everything. Here you go.
There's our Celsius all the way down. Celsius. Now, we did have a question, Avi. There was a gentleman that asked me about instead of tonnage, they do it in kilowatts.
Yes. Okay. I'll do that. Sounds like a good thing to have.
Yep.
Cool.
Because these capacities, they don't look at, they don't recognize in tonnage, they go to kilowatts. So, I mean, is that something we can implement in there, or can we do that right now?
Not right now. I have to do some changes, but it's pretty straightforward. You could do it pretty easily. So
perfect.
So
well, right now that's about all we got on this.
Yeah, that's
very impressive. I love it.
Thank you all. Again, we really would appreciate your input, your thoughts. Let us know what you want to see, because we are now at the point, after it's been a little while, we've supported the old app, but now we've created this new architecture, and it's very flexible, and the team is now able to really make changes that you folks want.
Yeah.
So please let us know. That's important to us.
Yep, and as we were just showing with the multiple superheats and being able to do the multiple discharge lines, everything else, you can actually use it for a low temp situation to actually monitor and check the system.
Yep.
Actually using the data logging application rather than your iManifold app, so you can map those multiple superheats, multiple discharge line temperatures, multiple circuits. You can actually use it for diagnosis as well.
Another little thing, we just, as you all know, or whether you do or don't, we're working with SunTrack. And yesterday, Eric installed the first one that we sold out there in Phoenix, didn't you?
Yeah, we just trained this company out here that they're out of North Phoenix, and yesterday was their first panel, so we wanted to be out there on the job to make sure that everything went right, and you know, start up. Maybe we'll get those pictures posted up on the website. Some short videos, you know, got the crane coming in with the panel and everything else.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, the install went fine, but the system itself, we found a leak in the system.
The actual package unit?
Brand new package unit. I'm not going to mention who it was, you know, what but it was, there was a delay there, that's for sure. You know, I'm just waiting to commission the system and everything, and then we're vacuuming it down, and it never achieved vacuum. It stalled out at just right at about 1,000. But right at about 1,000 microns, it wouldn't drop any lower.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Checked everything out. Next thing you know, we pressurized it up and found the leak.
Cool.
So,
well, great.
Those pictures, it went very well. Very impressive.
Cool. All right. Well, again, thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. And again, please let us know what you want to see. We're in this mode of making this exactly to be a functional product for you users out there. So give us your feedback.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.